can you believe it, everybody? It is already time for our fourth and final game of the
What?
day, guys. It has been
What?
flying by. Yeah, this is a big one. We have Fukuoka, SoftBank Hawks Gaming. Got that time versus Sengaku here. And this is sort of our match today with the most standing implications here, Echo. Sengaku actually could be their first opportunity to fall out of first since the split began, as it is even our match of the week. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Who would have thought, right? Yeah, tied with DFM for that first place, and now that DFM grabbed themselves that win, being 12-1. So now Sengaku, they gotta follow it up. They gotta try and one up them as well. And what better team to do it than against the Hawks? I'm not gonna try to say the full name because I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna look like an idiot on cast. No thanks.
What are you saying? Yeah, it's I got a little confused. You guys missed it because you were sound asleep. I envy you because that first V3 game was not anything to watch. But our producer sort of confused me on what the match of the week was because we had the match of the week. WEAK with our first game of the day, which was CGA and V3. So I forgot we still have a real match of the week here, RMC. And you know what? It's a big opportunity, not just for Sengaku to stay the course, stay tied for first here, but for the Hawks as well.
Yeah, it's only fitting that we start and end with the match of the week here, and similar playoff implications, right? We started with battle for the bottom. Now we're ending with the battle for the top. And we touched on the fact that Sengaku might slide to Seoul second if they lose here, Infinite Dodge and Echo. But I think it's worth highlighting what the Hawks stand to gain with a win right now, because this split so far, the LJL has been dominated by DFM and Sengaku. And then this big gap between them and the Hawks. Hawks are 8-4 here compared to, the 12-1 of DFM now and 11-1 of Sengaku. So if the Hawks want to be more than just that third place team, that trailing behind team, if they want to even try and contest these juggernauts here, they need a win now. If not, if the Hawks lose here, DFM and Sengaku could lock in the top two spots exactly a week from today.
Yeah, that would work out that if Hawks lose here, then the magic number to lock the both spots of the Juggernaut match, so first and second seed for DFM and Sengaku, would be 15 wins. We're on match day 13 out of 21, so 3 more days, exactly 1 week, 3 more wins, assuming they win all their games. It could very well soon be locked in those top 2, and it's very different than spring where, Hawks as our third place team, they don't look like Rascal Jester and Sengaku did when they were trading back and forth in that top 3 spot with DFM in spring. They look a cut below, I would say. And stylistically, do you find any particular reason for that here, RMC, that sort of separates them from our actual big dogs in the 1 and 2 spot?
I'm going to be honest with you, Dodge. In spring, I didn't understand why the Hawks were losing with the roster they had. And now in summer, I don't understand why they are winning with the roster and play style that they have here. They play a really, feel like a slow game compared to the way Sengaku and DFM have been playing, where those two just smash the early game. They've got massive leads. The Hawks kind of just sit in their lanes and scale up, and then mid-game rolls around and they start looking for fights. But despite that, the stats say otherwise. The stats say that this is a team that has the second highest goal difference at 15 somehow, behind only DFM pretty much. So they should be more exciting early, but they are not. And so this is a team which is an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, gifted in a riddle to me. I don't understand them, but I do understand Sengaku. And stylistically, it's a bad matchup because Sengaku likes to smash the early game and they like to smash the lanes. And Hawks don't like to group up till mid-game. If you fall too far behind in your lanes, there is no mid-game.
Yeah, and that's very well a possibility here, Echo, with Jet in the mid lane for Sengaku. I mean, how much better can this guy get? I do believe he was our all-pro #1 in spring, and he hasn't shown any signs of slowing down in summer.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you also kind of need to look back when the Hawks went up against DFM just recently, day 12, right? They got a little, a bit of a beat down, a bit of a left right.
A little?
Yeah, okay, maybe not a little, maybe a major. I believe going 18-0, like that's. You hate to see it, and now you're going up against Sengaku, a team that's they're hungry to prove that they're better than DFM. So the question is, can Sengaku one up DFM? I wouldn't want to see it as a Hawks fan, that's for sure. But only time really will tell.
Can I just point out that DFM 18? They got 18-0, but DFM got 11-0 by Sengaku on day 1 here. So if transfer properties and all that.
Yeah, so are we saying that... I don't know how that math works out. Because the last
29-0?
matchup between DFM and Sengaku was very DFM favored. So, assuming Sengaku were up by 7 going into that one, this is like the tiebreaker. They need to outperform 18-0 by some certain amount, of which I am not aware. But let's just go for like a nice round figure and say, let's try and get 30 kills to nothing. Let's try and force SoftBank Hawks FF15.
Okay.
Start padding the
is
score,
Hawks.
hitting threes in their face.
This
just
ain't
like-
B3, this ain't Burning Core, this ain't Axis, this is the Hawks, man.
Hey,
Hey, I put Axis in there.
Okay, I
heard us both. I heard us both.
I guess.
Feels good to be a Sengaku fan, man. We got all the goodies, and it has been a very, very fun split to be watching them play. But yeah, I will raise a question, a bit of a hot take here, because we are still waiting on draft to start up, so we have time for hot takes. My hot take is Hawks are closer to the CGAs and the Burning Cores of the world than they are to the DFMs and the Sengakus of the world. I think they can skill gap a lot of these lower teams and almost feed off the bottom of the pack, and that's where a lot of their wins have come from, even though they're not necessarily always the most coordinated or glossed up, flashy team. I think they generally just have 5 really individually good players, and that has inflated their score a little bit higher than what it should be. And any thoughts on that? Any disagreements?
I actually kind of agree. I'm gonna say that's more of a lukewarm take. Like that's just it. Kind of it is like Dodge be saying how it is what it is. Like, hey, you can't argue with the facts. I don't know. Maybe RMC feels differently.
No, I mean, statistically, things agree. Their only other loss besides DFM and Sengoku has come at the hands of Roscoe Jesters in week 1. But like I said, Hawks keep defying stats, so I guess I can keep my stats and they'll keep their magic.
I guess so, as we are ready to see if they can tap in on some of that magic and find the upset victory here over Sengaku, knock them out of first. It's all coming up now. We've got Pick and Ban. I'll see you guys after.
All right, let's get right into it. 30-0 is a big number for Sengaku here to reach, but maybe they're up for the task here. A couple of bans coming out already. The Hawks opted to take out the Renata. The Silas, as we already said, we've been seeing rise in popularity. Is going to be taken off the board accordingly, and the Wukong as well. All respectable bans coming out, and fairly expected ones too.
Echo, I love that we're seeing the Rel band starting to come back in against the Hawks here, because if you listen to the old timers here on the LJL channel, they'll sing Lina's Rel praises all day long. And it feels like teams have kind of forgotten that recently, and Lina's been able to pop off with that Rel. So I think that's a great step here. The Yuumi ban coming in as well is interesting, because Lina has actually not played Yuumi all split long and only played it once in spring.
Secret tech we didn't know about being banned away here. Also, just in general, I like the Rhino focus coming out here, realizing you gotta respect Rhino where respect is due. First lock coming in. Is it gonna be another? Yo, we're getting the back-to-back Sivir. Yes, we are.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Don't fix if it ain't broke, right? And Sivir's
True.
just looking so strong right now. I guess that's why we're seeing that Yuumi ban come through, because so far the Sivir with Yuumi combo has been absolutely nutty. It's movement speed on top of movement speed on a mobile hyper carry. So I do like to see it, and then the question of course becomes, what do you pair with this Sivir? Now Echo, I've complained enough about B1 Nars. R1 Nar is frankly no better.
Well, they're still hover up. Okay,
Nope.
never mind. As I say that, they lock it in. They are gonna go ahead and just grab it right off the board. R1 Nar is gonna be locked in here as they opt for their second pick. But honestly, maybe that's just a Chad move from Sengaku that they're like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, a lot of teams have done that. And I don't know if that's a safe thing to do, especially considering that Paz has actually countered the Gnar multiple ways, with the outskilling from GP, with the Shyvana punish in the past as well. Maybe there's a challenge to Kanatsu, because, what's Kanatsu going to pick? He's picked 6 games of Gnar, 3 of Kale, 2 of GP, 1 of Gwen. And while GP, Gwen, Kale will all outscale, we said it before, Sengaku likes to play hard and fast. And if you smash the lanes hard enough, I don't care about your skilling composition. We're never gonna get there. The Talia as well coming through from Sengaku is interesting. She did get kind of buffed as well, and specifically for Sengaku, they've played more Talia mid than they have jungle.
Yeah, and as we said, you mentioned that the Gwen only having one game under the belt here of Kinyatsu is going to be picked up once again. However, this Ari isn't banned out at the moment. Curious to see if they do lock that. They are going to indeed. This is going to be a bit of a volatile matchup in this mid lane. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, and it's actually Talia favored for the most part because
Yeah, I was
of the
gonna
way.
say.
Yeah, Talia punishes mobile champions. It's very hard to dash through that minefield here, and Dasher, ironically, is going to have to move around it. Funny thing about Dasher as well. This is Dasher's first Ari game in summer. He played it a ton in spring. It was his most played champion with Rise 8 times in spring. Hasn't played it at all here in summer. And I feel like maybe it was a bit of a bait. Maybe he's going to go like, okay, I really want that Ari. Sengoku's like, we'll give it to you, but we'll take the Talia. And now I expect Sengoku to just leave that Talia in the mid lane because you already have the counter there. You might as well, go for that jungle instead, unless Hawks decide to pinch out the jungle and there's no other options.
Yeah, no, definitely. We see once again Alistair being picked up here from Sengoku as we go into the next phase of bans. Are going to get rid of that Tom Kench. My God, they are really just saying, Rhino, you don't get to play any. At this point, Rhino's just going to have to lock in random champ because they're just trying to take away everything that he could ever play.
What?
Okay. Okay.
To be fair, I am not super familiar with the matchups for Sivir because we just switched to 12.13 here in professional play. So maybe Draven's a really hard counter to Sivir in lane. I can kind of... He did certainly used to be because short range Sivir, you have to walk in range of those spinning axes here. But I'm very surprised. Vital has not played any Draven this split or the last year. He's not exactly the player who comes to mind when I think of Draven here.
Yeah, no, a little odd, but you know what? Maybe just securing themselves there, looking to be safe here as this last ban is about to come out here from the Hawks. Interesting to mention. I mean, we talked about the right of respect, but like, look at that. 4 of the 5 bans here, all taking away champs from Rhino here. And I mean, obviously, you do already have top, mid, and the AC picked up. But regardless, like that shows a level of respect that you like to see.
I actually really like that sort of focus onto this support position because, like I said, for the Hawks, their team I haven't quite figured out yet. They don't have like a huge carry, and if they do, it's usually Dasher, but Dasher's champ pool is wide enough that maybe you try and pinch Blank, but honestly, Blank's versatile enough, so maybe you go for Rhino, who has been a big performer for this team in terms of secondary engage to full up on Blank here. I like the idea. We do see the Vi come through. Oh, and I was going to actually say for a second, Echo, maybe it's a Vi support. It has been something that we've been seeing a little bit more of here, but you generally don't pick it blind. And I much prefer an Enchanter with the Sivir compared to an engage option. So with Yuumi off the board, Lulu's probably the next best pick in line.
Yeah.
No, don't go to the Nautilus, man.
No, they're going for the Nautilus. They're like, screw that, man. We need to get in there and get dirty. Well, how do you counter Sengoku? Just smash them right back. Smash them before they can smash you. That's the name of this game now, and they are gonna lock that in as we see the last pick about to come out here for Sengoku. Any takes what it's gonna be here for this ADC?
I mean, we saw the Kaisa hover. That's not necessarily a bad pick, but I think you can just go for scaling potentially up against the Sivir of Marble. I know that Sivir's scaling is incredibly good right now, but I will say that Marble has not particularly impressed me in terms of being an AD carry who can pop off here. He's not like, Sanctuary or Hybrid, who's really good at piloting these mobile champions. So you can pick something, like I was thinking more Jinx to potentially outrange the Sivir. Aphelios is an interesting AD carry, actually, specifically into the Sivir matchup, because Aphelios is strong on this patch, and specifically red-white don't fight applies to champions who get in range of this chainsaw that is Aphelios. And as strong as Sivir is right now, you've got to play around those guns. If you do see that red-white for Sivir, specifically with the short range you have, that is a huge stop sign. If you ever try and opt into that fight, Aphelios will outdamage Sivir.
I will say when the red-white isn't available, though, things definitely get pretty dangerous here for that Aphelios being incredibly immobile, right? Just one little Nautilus hook definitely can spell bad times for you. Obviously, you've got the Alistair, right? You can hit him with the headbutt, hit him with the bull, right? Try and get that distance. But regardless, definitely going to have to be careful. And then you move to the mid lane, right? Things aren't going to be looking too good for Dasher. It's going to definitely be quite the skill matchup here, with it obviously being somewhat more Talia favorite, just completely shutting down Dasher's, dare I say, ability to dash around.
Yeah, and again, I feel like for the side of Hawks, with this Vi pickup, there's a lot of pressure on this Vi to perform. Gwen versus Nara in the top lane is traditionally not Gwen favored in the early level. She does need a bit of time to scale up. Now, she did have some changes as well on this patch. It's funny because Riot calls them changes. I'm going to call them a straight up buff to Gwen here. They've increased her cooldowns, but at the same time, they've given her more strength on a lot of her abilities here. So her windows of opportunity hit harder, but they're rarer to come by. And I actually feel like that's a good thing into Gnar, because like we said before, Gnar also has very clearly defined windows of opportunity. When he's mini, he can bully you, but he's vulnerable to dying. So I actually feel like the laning might have changed a little bit. I do expect Gwen to still lose pre-6, but at 6, I think this Gwen could come online. So for the Hawks here, there's an opportunity on this top half of the map. Bot side, though, is going to get rough. We touched on the mid lane being a rough matchup. I just want to highlight, I really don't like this Nautilus pick. I said it earlier when he got locked in, but against Alistar specifically as well, any engaged champion into Alistar is going to be very, very rough. And it only gets worse when Alistar hits 6.
Yeah, well, I guess now the real question, obviously, is this a 30-0 comp, do you think?
No.
No.
I do think Sengoku can smash with this, and I'm expecting them to look for early aggression, especially around this mid and top lane, with once maybe bouncing back and forth. But 30-0 is you're kind of squishy, man. I expect to see some deaths coming through for Sengoku.
Yeah, well, overall, nothing too much going to be going down just yet here. Your average 5 point set up going down here. Bit of a stare off in this bot lane as well. Marvel just injured him, looking at him. Heavy, not actually going to put down that ward. Not going to find too much there. Overall, nothing really going down just yet. That would have been a nice start. A little explosive start going on if they looked for a kill there.
I mean, I was hoping that Paz better paycheck that pushed up, because Hawks were fishing a little bit in that top lane. Didn't find anything, and really, I was actually really impressed by Marble there, knowing exactly when to step back. He was just at the edge of Jat's range on that Talia Q there. That's a good sign. I did say Marble's not the most mechanical of AD carries in the LJL, but that's some mechanics right there.
Yeah, I will say, interesting to note that Blitzcrank bot thinking 55% to the Hawks here. Actually, maybe he's on to something that we're not on, man.
I'm pretty sure Blitzcrank does these analysis with nameplates off, and he likes scaling.
Okay, man. Okay, that's a little toxic, maybe a little true here, but regardless. Hook is gonna land on it.
What's wrong with nameplates? Oh, nothing toxic about that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Anyways, moving on.
I didn't say with his monitor off.
Yeah. Just as once is moving on to this top lane, and Blank is gonna be moving on to the bot lane here. That ward should most likely spot Blank out though once he reaches his Raptors and give the Sengoku a bit of more information as to where he's going to be. And overall, it's been pretty quiet so far, though. Nothing really going down just yet. Obviously, still first 3 minutes. Maybe we see a mid-lane gank coming through here from Blank. Would be very curious to see.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit tough as well onto Talia. That minefield kind of, like we said, blocks a lot of dashes, and Vi as well, pre-6 does rely very heavily on that vault breaker here. So I do expect it to be a bit of a quieter early game in terms of jungle pressure. It's going to be a lot about the lanes facilitating these ganks coming through. So keep an eye on the lane states for the most part here. If if the side lanes are pushed out, maybe we start to see ganks come through, but if they're being shoved in, then not a lot of chance to come through. Ooh, great rapid.
That was a really nice hook coming through, but Rhina needs to be careful. That's the flash, but the Q, the stun, and everything under the sun coming out, and first blood gonna go into the hands of Vital. Very nice, interesting idea coming through from Rhina, but Marble just not quite there to follow up. We talk about that short range coming through with that Sivir constantly, and there you could just see it so well.
Yeah, and the other problem is just the Alistar, right? Like we talk about Alistar body blocking, but I'm still not sold on which is worse, whether you hook the Alistar or the Aphelios. Because as you can see here in this replay, when Rhina actually lands on Vital, the problem is it's just so free for Enti, and you get to hit him towards the turret. Rhina did actually take the turret shot, but it's really, really close. And the problem is just that you're so disrupted, you don't get the follow-up stun onto Vital. Vital gets to free fire you the entire time there. And early on, Sivir is a scaling champion. Her early damage isn't amazing when she doesn't have any items.
Yeah, no, it's really not too good. We saw it there. And so with that first skill into Vital's hands, Let's see what he can do with picking up that pickaxe as well. So it's just going to be hitting so much harder. Already seeing some pings coming out though here from Blank. Maybe looking to move into this mid lane here for now. Gonna have to wait and see. Not too much going down. The roams coming out as well here from Reina and me as well. Both looking to just start applying a little bit of pressure here, but nothing coming out of it just yet.
And as long as the pressure keeps favoring Hawks here, Echo, that's good for them. Like we said, a slower pace of game favors the Hawks here. The faster it goes, the better it is for Sengoku. And this bot lane here, yes, you did give over First Blood, but on the backs of both these AD carries here, Vital actually misses out a wave. So experience-wise, the Hawks are probably in a slightly better position here. We'll have to see if they're able to capitalize on that. The other person to watch experience-wise is going to be Blank, specifically on this Vi, because Vi can gank before 6, but at 6, she becomes incredibly potent.
Yeah, definitely. That unstoppability that comes from the cease and desist, just allowing you to get on top of your target, no matter what, always huge to have. But first drag is live. We're already seeing Blank pivoting his way down to this river, but so is once as well. Maybe we see a little bit of a scuffle, look to break down, has been spotted out on that control ward, and so now got an idea that Blank is in the area. Meanwhile, here in this top lane, Paz looking to find something here. A little bit of fights going down, but not gonna find anything. That ult going a little wide.
Yeah, and now I'm curious because top lane is 6, right? And I had said that with the changes to Gwen, I actually suspect that she starts winning this lane at 6 here. And so far, Paz hasn't got a significant lead. Once didn't even go anywhere. Once it's just been power farming as much as possible here. So if it does start swinging Gwen's way, then Hawks might start to come online a little sooner. For now, though, once clearing out this Dragon Pit, and Blank on this recall looks like he has no intention whatsoever of even starting to try and contest this dragon. I know it's Cloud, it's not that big when you only get one Cloud, but hey, a Drake's a Drake, and Soul is a thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just that little bit of golden flux it gives you, just all the better for Sengoku. But regardless, do you see the ult getting burnt here from Kinatsu in this top lane with the trade going through? A lot of damage coming out as Paz doesn't just have that mega mode just yet. It's about to come online, and so Kinatsu respectively gonna go ahead, hit that back, needs to get that mana, needs to get those more items in.
Yeah, and without that needle work there, the Gwen threat isn't that high. It's hard to pin down the Gnar there. So just, doing it to be able to get a good back timing. Picking up early Ionic Boots there. I didn't think that was necessarily the call, but Kinatsu really wanting the ability to reposition around this Gnar instead of just raw brawling stats to come through here. We'll have to see how it works out, because it does mean that you've got a weaker team fight at that Herald.
Yeah, definitely. Also, first drag to go down into the hands of ones that are going to pick themselves that up. Herald up in 34 seconds as well. We already see controller going down there from Blank, and so one's most likely going to look to pivot his way over there as well. Hell, even NT is there. They're all looking to just position themselves for it. Love to see it, clearing out that vision, just already signaling, yeah, this Herald, you're not getting it without a fight, Hawks.
Well, this is interesting because Sengoku has actually swapped their lanes to do this, and Paz doesn't have TP. So Hawks actually have a numbers advantage here, and I wonder if for Sengoku, they actually have the lowest or second lowest Herald take rate of all teams in the LJL, less than 50% of the time. They might just try and sack this and just buy as much time as possible. Even as I say that, though, Paz is starting to move up. So Sengoku, they are looking to contest.
Yep. Those wards, spotting them out. They know exactly how many members are on that Herald and where they're at ones. Taking his time before they look to move him back. It might just be a bait here. Going to maybe look for a hook. If they can find something, that'll definitely be huge control into the bush, though. Now they know that they're there, and they're getting collapsed on slowly but surely. It's going to be a bit of a brawl. Hook does go ahead and land. Can they kill him? Yes, they can. They take him down before he goes mega mode. He's mega dead. That's all he's got to say here. Meanwhile, Kinatsu has that needlework doing a whole lot of damage. Flash heal coming out for NT. The Weaver's Wall, though, to block him off. And so Reina Blank can only watch, but not much gonna come out of that one. Not enough damage just yet. And so overall, Sengoku just gonna look to go ahead and take themselves as Herald. Hawks looking for an opportunity while NT looks for some kind of a get around, but doesn't have flash available. Can't really get around that wall even if he wanted to. And they are gonna go ahead and just gatekeep the eye here, but once is gonna go ahead and secure it being invisible.
Really tense Herald fight there, Echo, and
yeah,
Hawks actually take it. I'm a little bit surprised when they lost Paz that early there, but for the side of Sengoku, I mean, they're just overwhelming, I think, with pressure. There's no reason for Hawks necessarily to back off. Now, The start of this fight is interesting too, because Paz actually set up really well. Went, charged up his rage bar in the bot lane, mid lane, charged up further. Almost perfect spot here, but the hook that lands in the CC chain that follows there just means that Paz doesn't get a chance to actually go mega. And once that happens, yes, Reina is low on health, but it's not like the rest of the Hawks are low on health here. This is the most dangerous part for them. When they get cut off by Jet, this should have spelled disaster, but the fact that they didn't die here, that charm from Dasher actually interrupting the potential to chase down Marble and Konatsu, they've got a numbers advantage. I am very shocked that they didn't press it.
Yeah, I think just Marble and Konatsu being able to go into that little sort of pocket that was opened up for them just allowed them to kind of, hide themselves from sight. And so they didn't want to push up too far and put themselves in a bad spot. I was quite surprised as well. I thought for sure, like, now you just have these two members from the Hawks that have to just watch as, like, the rest of their team gets brutalized. But, hey, at the end of the day, nothing too much really coming out of it. Now we're seeing a bit of an invade coming out here from once. No, just going to opt to drop some vision instead. It's like on his way down into this bot lane. Maybe they try to find something onto Vital. The cease and desist is available. I think Vital has a bit of a suspicion that he's not pushing out. He's like, something's going on here. I'm not moving up, not today.
Yeah, and without your buddy system there, without NT there, Vital is very exposed. You don't even need Plank to kill Vital here if Reina manages to land a single dredge line. So Vital playing this really, really well. And I'm expecting Sengoku actually to pick up the pace of the game right now because they have the Herald in their pocket. They do want to press in somewhere, anywhere. Once hasn't actually ganked the lane either here. And granted, Vi's the one with the pressure to gank early because she does tend to fall off a little bit more. But Viego's level 6 is pretty critical as well. It gives him the mobility, it gives him the execute, it gives him all the tools that he really needs to kill squishies.
Yeah, speaking of taking the kills here, Reina looking for something. The hook gonna land onto NT, though. He's looking to tank it up with the Unbreakable Will, running for his life. The Death Charges follow suit as well. The ulti coming out, but it's too little, too late. And down he goes.
The cry of supports through the ages there, Echo. I was just trying to ward. No, you don't get to ward like that. That is risky. And unfortunately, Sengoku, once again, going to sit back a little bit. And Hawks have done a great job in the early game. This is why I struggle with the Hawks. They've got themselves another lead here, Echo. And
how do they do this?
It's not the most proactive. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, very nice. Flat shoot coming through. Cease and assist as well. And Jet is going to eat the dirt. The kill going to the hands of Dasher. Doesn't quite find that charm. Won't be able to get that secondary follow-up onto once. But it doesn't even matter. They pick themselves up that kill. Little surprised they don't look to just pivot straight away and go for the drag. But I guess, you've got Ryan and Marble just coming back from base. And so you don't want to take that with that sort of man disadvantage. But we do get to see a replay of how this kill happened.
I love Echo that Justice is talking about, Hawks haven't been proactive. They do this. Proactive. Love it. Absolutely beautiful. And this is why you pick the Vi, right? Vi is really, really strong in solo queue for a reason, because when she chooses to lock down a target, if you're squishy, you're dead. And now, they get to kind of reset a little bit. They've got the numbers advantage here. And I don't think you need to rush into Dragon. If you're the Hawks here, you can actually try and leverage this advantage for a little bit more. They are looking for these team fights here. They're not just looking to get advantages or small picks here. They want more kills with the strength that they've already got.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that assault in the bot lane there. Arrow did crash, taking quite a few plates with it, but not gonna find the turret itself just yet. Once they're gonna grab that scuttle, doesn't want to risk going for that drag just yet, as we are seeing the pivots coming through. Actually looking to start it up, but Blank is on his way there. Smelling that something's going down here. It's gonna go ahead and take a little peek-see, realizing that I once had some ideas in mind, but it's gonna stop him from driving that drag. And once just gonna go ahead and back off for now.
They do have to be careful though for Hawks if they do want to do this. Sengoku Vital specifically does have red-white here, and if those guns are available, like we said, they win fights. Paz now TPing down here, so Sengoku trying to take advantage of this gun window. What?
No way! Oh my God! Once, you dirty boy, he's gonna go ahead and steal it with the smite. That hurts a little bit on the side of Hawk. That hurts.
Yeah, on a replay on that, I don't think Once actually had full vision. I think he had to actually dash closer to get vision because there was a pink ward.
Oh, no way, Jed, come on, oh! Dude, Jed, come on, man. How are you gonna do him like that? The disrespect cancels the cease and desist with the stopwatch there, and then flashes away from the hook. That was nutty. Not gonna lie, that was nutty.
Hey man, Yarong might have the least deaths of all mid laners, but Jet was the all-star #1 for a reason, man, and it's plays like this. So, how many point and clicks were there available, and he somehow survives? They do also get the bot lane first turret for it. Vital pushing up, they will lose top side for it here. And with that, things are within touching distance still here, Echo. It's been a lot closer than I think a lot of us expected between these two teams in the early game.
Yeah, and we actually get to see a replay of it. Yeah, okay, here we go. We get to see the replay of it, exactly how it goes down. You see one slowly getting closer. Probably going to use that Spectral Maul. Yeah, uses it to just get in range and get the smite off. That war, oh my god, that hurts. I mean, that's pain. That's Sage right there. That's Sage, big pain right there. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, Hawks actually, there was a pink ward on the dragon there, and the Hawks didn't clear it. They opted to try and burn down the dragon instead, and interesting decision. It kind of bites them a little bit here. Now, Herald being taken by Sengoku as well here. They are looking to accelerate the pace of the game. No challenge from Hawks whatsoever. And the last Herald netted them the bot lane. This time, we're going to see what Sengoku can get with it. Where past plate times, there's no plate gold here, but Herald does hit harder post 14 minutes as well.
Yeah, definitely. I say, and even when you just looking at the kills itself, you have that slight, well, it was at one point a slight goal advantage here for the Hawks. But regardless, I mean, Sengoku's just been holding their own quite well. Obviously, being the tie for first team, I expect nothing less. But, things were looking like Hawks was about to make something happen here. But Sengoku, they're like, not so fast, not so fast.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the slower pace of the game from Sengoku here is the fact that, as he's mentioned, they're holding on. They're on the back foot right now, and the Hawks attack that mid lane. We're saying that Jet, such a good player with the Talia matchup favorable into Ahri. That's an angle where Sengoku can look to get once and Jet accelerated, go ganking on the side lanes. You've got the Weaver's Wall for that global mobility. Hawks punished it. We saw the ganks come through more than once. Jet has only died once, but there have been multiple ganks into the mid lane. And we saw in that short showing of the individual gold that Darsha is ahead as well in that 1v1 situation. So that's really slowing down Sengoku, and the Hawks have been taking massive advantage of it. We are now at the stage of the game, post 15 minutes, where the Hawks generally actually start to group up here and make plays happen on their terms. And the question now is, can the Hawks actually do that? Can they accelerate the game with the small lead that they generated early?
Yeah, they held their own very well against Sengoku in this early game. Let's see if they can be rewarded for it. But for now, Sengoku looking to just push down this mid lane here. Going to opt to roam up, perhaps into this top lane. Going to go ahead and clear this vision. Still have that Herald in the pocket of one, so they can opt to put that down as they see fit once they get an opportunity to do so. But at the moment, not really finding it just yet. Jet. So, he might run right into the hands actually here of Blank. Gonna hit him with the Everfrost. I mean, the CC chain is just enormous. No amount of crowns are gonna save you from that if you can't even move. Goes down. Rift Herald, meanwhile, gonna get dropped in response in this mid lane. They're gonna look to siege it up in this mid lane, take this turret out. Marble doing his best to hold, but I don't think it's looking pretty futile. Down that turret goes.
Yeah, and that's just the strength of that Herald we touched on. Post 14 minutes, you saw how much damage it did. Sengoku making good on the trade when Jet did get caught out there. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sold on this Crown of the Shattered Queen. Great, you reduce the initial upfront damage, but with the amount of CC that Avai and Ahri has, it's not going to save you. They just need to layer things well. And huge props to Blank and Dasher so far. They've layered their CC immaculately, not just in these ganks, but even at that first Herald fight that we saw as well. I don't see that changing anytime soon, so I just don't see the advantage of the crown over, the Leandries, which just feels so strong in the current patch.
Yeah, and I feel like Jet kind of also just completely overestimated how much it was going to help, because he throws the stone into the bush as well. Had an idea that Blank was there, right? He's like, I got this, boys. And then all of a sudden, it's like all his keys are grayed out because he literally just cannot use any of them because the CC chain is just too strong. It's too long. And next thing you know, he's just in the dirt.
Yeah, I got this, boys. I got killed, boys. That kind of feels like how it goes. And now Dragon is coming up. Infernal Rift here, Echo. So these teams will want to fight for it. And look at the positioning of the teams. Sengoku has actually felt like they've completely abandoned the Dragon at this point.
Yeah, no, it's almost like they're just opting it up, looking to maybe set up for that Baron, but that's still a minute away. Yeah. So definitely still have some time if you wanted to make something happen and do it. But gonna have to just give that dragon over. It's not the end of the world just yet. It's gonna be the Hawks' first drag, so still a long way to go before they can get themselves that Infernal. But stacking Infernal drags, especially with an Ahri, a Gwen, and with a Sivir, that's not something you want to see.
Oh no, especially not with the Gwyn and
Oh,
Sivir.
no.
I'm just kidding. I was just thinking about the last game where we saw so much poke coming out of Sivir, right? Like,
Yeah.
can you actually match it on the side of Sengoku here? Maybe with the Talia poke, but once you add Infernal into the mix, definitely not. So, yeah, when you said that, it suddenly clicked that wait, that's actually really really bad to give over to the Hawks here. And for Sengoku, what they traded the Dragon for was topside turrets. So they've got all the outer turrets now. Sengoku continuing to play, towards this gold econ style, where you're trying to accelerate with as much gold as you can. But when you're at the 20-minute mark and you're trying to do that Echo, it's a lot less impactful than the pre 14-minute mark when you're trading dragons for these turrets. And I'm worried because if you're Sengoku, I think you need to be looking at trying to stack these dragons instead. You didn't rush the early game here. You've got to think of your late game econ.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're going up against a team like the Hawks, like we said, they love to get into this mid to late team up, group up, and make things happen. And yeah, so far the turrets, really the only thing that's been keeping them in the race when it comes to this goal difference here, right? It's still only at about a good 100, 200, something like that, because they have 3 turrets to 1. They have all those outer turrets. They've opened up the map, allowing them to move. Now I want to see them actually, take advantage of that and make something happen with that, sort of opened up map.
Yeah, this is definitely not the Sengoku that we come to love throughout the first round robin here. This is the most passive I've seen them. If you take off nameplates here, this, I'm trying to think who's really bad. This could be Roscoe Jesters for all we know for the red team here. They've just kind of sat back. We've not seen a single... Have we seen? No, I don't think we've seen a single gank from once yet. Like, not even a single time. And Jets, Weavers, Walls, where are the ganks? We haven't seen the outs come through for the global mobility. It's been all Hawks in the early game, and Blank's been having a field day. 2-0-2 right now. 100% kill participation. Can continue to do that. Sengoku continues to opt for that split push here, and anytime you're on your own, you're vulnerable to Vi.
Yeah, definitely. I can feel Infinite Dodge maybe shaking in his boots already, realizing that they're not looking too good for Sengoku. But I mean, it's not over till it's over, and we definitely still need to see a fully fledged, all hands on deck sort of fight before I make up my mind there, as it's been primarily a lot of scuffles going down. So definitely still some time before we can make any decisions just yet. But yeah, I mean, oh, look at that. I'm just noticing now, actually, in this top lane as well, it's been shoved in pretty hard. They have Paz up there looking to answer, and they are looking to finally get themselves that first tier 1 in that bot lane, as well as we have just the whole squad converging on over. Sengoku, though, y'all gotta make something happen. Like, come on, let's get some kills. Let's get some going.
I love the difference we have between teams here. If this was DFM on the red side, we'd just be like, oh, it's fine. DFM are about to pop off Jet on his own again.
Yeah, on his own. Oh my god, this easy to assist over the wall. And
he
can't move. Let the poor man play the game, please. Like, what was that? Oh my, the death charges, cease and desist, Everfrost, the charm. I mean, if you get hit by 1 CC, you might as well just leave at this point. Like, you're not playing the game. It's over. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there were 6 CCs total that came out there. I think we're missing the dredge line and the the Vault Breaker from Blank. That was what we missed. 6 CCs. I don't care. You can run cleanse. You can run. Oh, we're gonna get okay. We get to count this.
Okay.
You can run cleanse.
Count it too. Okay, let's see.
Okay, so Vault Breaker. That's one. Vault Breaker gets blocked.
Yep.
The depth charge lands.
Depth charge.
Cease and desist.
Everfrost charm. Oh my god.
Literally every single thing.
Wow. Like, what? I'm honestly, I'm a little surprised Jet hasn't sold the crown at this point. I feel like this is kind of the moment you realize, like, it's not gonna help, dude. Like, it's not gonna work.
Well, I guess we answered the question of what shattered that crown. 6 different CCs, apparently. It's just go Liages, man. If you get caught, you're dead here. And that's the problem with Sengoku. We were saying, they keep going for these splits here, and they're not doing it with perfect vision. The lanes are long. It's not safe. And Hawks just keep punishing you for it. So Sengoku need to change up the game plan here. If anything, I'd love to see Sengoku look to punish any split push from the Hawks with that Weaver's Wall. Still haven't seen a gank. Still haven't seen a Talia.
Yep, still waiting. That's not looking too I'm not too confident that we're gonna see it anytime soon. But you know, whenever it comes around, I'll be quite happy. You know, else is coming around this dragon actually in 3 seconds. But it's gonna be a team fight for the charm. It's gonna go ahead and land onto Anti. He's being punished to hell. But the unbreakable will, he refuses to die. Finally, though, he meets us and down he goes. The hook lands as well. Paz is gonna follow suit. He goes down as well. A death charge is onto once, but they're not quite gonna find it. Reina forced to go gold so he doesn't go down, and with that, 2 members of Sengoku are taken out for the count. And that should be a free dragon unless one can make something happen right here, right now, charging up the spectral mob. But he's realizing that this is not a fight to take. The rest of your squad is not there to have your back.
I think the Hawks might win this, Echo. They are playing incredibly well right now here, and to be honest, Sengoku's also playing a little bit sloppy. We touched so much on the Gnar windows of opportunity. We took time to talk about Vital's window of opportunity as well. Okay, Vital still cracked. But, you know, the windows aren't lining up there. Red, white wore out for Vital in the middle of that fight. Unfortunately, there, when you look, it starts, Vital has the right guns for it. And so, yes, NT soaks up enough damage initially. And we see Vital actually pump out the damage, but he hits the ward and the gun switch. And once that happens, Vital's not able to do anything anymore in this fight here. Yeah, sure, you're chipping away at Blank, but great, you still didn't kill him. Reina gets low, it's not enough, and you just don't get to fight this. Your numbers are down already, and for Sengoku, you've drafted a harder to execute composition. You were looking to get a lead in the early game. You're now behind against one of the best late game teams, potentially the best with the way Roscoe Justice has been playing. You're in trouble. I don't really see a good way for you to win team fights, and you've got to look for picks, and you haven't found a single one.
Yeah, you're in danger right now, Sengoku. I'm not gonna lie, y'all gotta pick up the pace here. Looking to go ahead and opt and actually start this Baron up. They're gonna say, Sengoku, come matches. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you can go tip for toe. As they are going, taking it down lower and lower at 7k health once, though. He's been here before with the dragon. Maybe he's going to try and go for some kind of steal. He's waiting on that blast cone, hopping over the wall. Let's see if he can find it, though. Going to go ahead and spook him, actually. Look to opt to stop the dragon. The Baron take, actually. Down it goes NT. Down goes Vital. Down goes once. Everyone dropping like flies. They finally find themselves a pick onto Reina, but that's the only member you take down. There's still so much damage left coming. And now Jet and Paz, last 2 standing, need to stop this Baron take with whatever means necessary. Look to go in right now. It's at 1k HP, trying to get the steal, but won't quite find it. The smite coming through from Black, and they are going to grab it. And so Sengoku will have to walk away in shame.
You're trying to steal a Baron away from a world champion jungler when you don't have smite.
Trust, bro. Trust.
No, but I got... that is desperation if I ever saw it, Echo. And this call right here from Hawks was absolutely beautiful. Once goes in, Hawks go out. The moment he jumps over, they're like, guys, he can't finish this alone. And they immediately turn. And for once, he actually has to burn the out just to try and rejoin his team. That's no execute available. Your damage cut in half, and that's after members of your team have dropped here. Beautifully played from Hawks. As much as I've said that, I don't really understand why they're winning. One thing that I do understand is that their shot calling and decision making come the mid to late game is one of the best in the league.
Yeah, honestly, I almost would have just liked to see once, like, he just goes over the wall, just try to do Baron. It's like just sacrifice the squad, just try and get Baron. Like, at least you get something. This time around, you get literally nothing from it, and you hate to see it. It hurts to see Baron buff going into the hands of the Hawks as well, going to allow them to start opening up the map themselves. Look to take out this tier 1 that's been standing in this mid lane for a good 28 minutes. Love to see it, but down it goes. Its time has come. It is going to fall, and with that, the Hawks are going to look to push up further. Charm landing onto Jet. Going to go ahead and cleanse just to be safe. So that's going to be a vital tool. And I'm not even referencing Vital this time around. It's just that vital tool for Jet here that is going to be on cooldown for quite a bit. And I mean, it wouldn't really matter because you cleanse one CC. You got 6 other that follow. But regardless, it is going to be down.
Yeah, kind of rough for Sengoku. The Baron push continues right now, and the risk for Sengoku is how do you deal with this? They've left Vital in that mid lane here, but we've seen the Vi Ahri dive onto Jet before. Vital is no safer than Jet when it comes to that dive here. So I'm really worried for Vital. For now, the Hawks looking to collapse on the top side instead.
Ooh, okay, but maybe this is the angle that they find. They get that first kill onto Blank's huge CC coming out. They're looking at him with their own medicine. Kill onto Blank once. Gonna go ahead and pilot that. And he's so low, but is not gonna go down. Goes gold just to be safe. Heals coming out as well. Will stay alive. Now Vital, though, gets hit with the dredge line, gets hit with the def charge, gets hits with the left, right, the hook center. Is still going to get out and survive somehow. The TP coming out here from Dasher. Can they try and turn this thing around? Pass with the flash forward to try and find something on together, but not quite going to get a Kinatsu. Going to get out of that one alive.
This just doesn't stop, Echo. It keeps going. The Hawks don't want to give this up, and now Paz has to be careful. Dragon coming up in 15 seconds as well here. So the Hawks, they're limping back home, and they don't have all the TPs. Kinatsu's got TP. Dasher, full health, is going to stick around, but Reina doesn't have TP, so Sengoku should be able to get this one.
Yeah, and you know what? Props Dasher, that's the right kind of shield I want to see. Not a crown. I want to see that kind of shield from the Banshees Vera. That's the CC stopping kind of shield.
Sure.
Even if it wouldn't do much for Jet, I would like to see it. But that is going to be the third Drake in the hands of Sengoku. So they are going to be on soul point regardless whether or not they are incredibly behind at the moment, tempo-wise, map-wise. First, that mid tier 2 going to go down. They're going to look to get the same thing in this top lane as well. Sengoku's going to have to go answer, but they got to be careful. The whole Hawk squad is here, and with that turret down, if they could find themselves a pick here, could be huge, but Blank not going to opt to go for anything because they don't want to risk anything, and I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, Blank already cost them the rest of that Baron push by getting caught up on that top side one. So let's not overdo things. And Echo, the story of this game has changed greatly from the analyst desk when we were talking about it pregame. We were talking about, it's the question of can Hawks survive Sengoku? Well, how the tables have turned. It's now a question of can Sengoku survive the Hawks? That Dragon take is pretty big. They did lose a lot of turrets, though, and the gold lead continues to grow. It's 5K in favor of the Hawks now. And skilling, I still think, favors the side of the Hawks here. So for Sengoku, yes, you're surviving, but time is not necessarily on your side. You need to start finding some proactive plays. Once again, that topside play wasn't proactive. It was reactive. You caught Blank, great, but it wasn't because you set up for Blank coming in. It was because Blank just overextended.
Yeah, Sengoku Hawks, Sengoku Hawks? I don't know who that is. Sengoku fans, the hybrids, dude. Sengoku fans right now going like, yeah, no, they were just handicapping themselves in the start. They had to give Hawks a chance. They had to make it interesting. That's why RMC. It's not that they weren't being proactive. They wanted to give Hawks a smidgen of hope. Now they got to take it away from them.
I mean, they gave more than a smidgen, man. They gave an inch. And the Hawks
they gave a whole bucket of hope, dude.
Hawks just took the whole foot, leg, and lower torso at this point. Like, there's just nowhere. Like, Sengoku's really far on the back foot. And again, what proactivity can you find when you're this far behind? Once running away.
Oh, no, the CC is still going to find the mark, and the CC chain has begun. Not quite going to get one, so Blank in a bad spot. Meanwhile, though, Anti going to go down once, going to go down as well. He bought time, but for what? At the very least, they do find themselves the kill onto Blank, but was it worth it?
No, Blank's not the one with the bounty. He already died. Your 700 gold bounty on Marble is where you really, really want to be going for here. And huge props to Marble. Marble hasn't been the flashiest Sivir that we've seen today by a long shot, but Marble is getting the job done. He's just sitting at the back, pumping out those boomerangs right now. And one of the scariest things is that Sivir does a lot of damage. You don't have to be mechanically great to do the damage. You have to be mechanically great to survive a lot of times, but Sengoku can't even look at Marble in a lot of these fights. And this is so sad for Sengoku. This is not even your jungle here. Once is just looking like, hey, is there anything? I'll take scraps at this point here. And there's absolutely nothing. The moment that mist comes down here, Hawks are like, oh, he's here. We go. And sure, Blank overextends a little bit coming through. Jet punishes that, but it doesn't matter because you're losing so many members on your back end. The fact that once actually went in to try and get the kill ends up costing him his life as well. And suddenly, what could have been a 1-for-1 ends up being a 1-for-2. You've lost all control of your jungle. You have no way to approach these objectives. Baron is up. Dragons come up in a minute and a half. And Hawks, they've got the vision control down. Their team's here. You can't face check this.
Yeah, one's really pulling up into his jungle like, please, spare one wolf, would you? It's just nothing there. It's just absolutely just death and decay. They're like, no, dude, you don't get to step in here anymore. They take him out, and now we're back here once again. Baron being absolutely burnt down right now. Once needs to get over that wall pronto if he wants to go for the steal. And there we go, going in. Can he get it? He won't get it, and he's gonna pay with his life. Down he goes, and Sengaku might be soon to follow as an entirety. They find Blank. They're trying to find more here. Can they get Vital? He's running for his life.
Vital?
He's healing a lot, doing a lot of damage. Come on, Vital. Now's your chance to make something happen. He gets 2. They get 3. Let's go, Vital. That's what you like to see. Dasher, the only man left standing at Sengaku. They've woken up. They find Dasher too, and they find the ace. The power nap is over. Sengaku, they're not surviving. They're thriving.
If there was any question why Sengoku keeps starting Vital over Honey, let this be the answer here. I'm sorry, Melvin Izzle, you're not going to find your boy anytime soon at the rate Vital is going, because my goodness here. I didn't think this was possible. This looks so good for the Hawks, right? It's typical standard play. When you're ahead, you go for the Baron, you cut out the vision, you wait for the enemy jungler to come over. It did get a little closer than I think the Hawks would have liked, but Blank, as good as ever, they kill once. And from here on out, normally it's just the cleanup here, and Vital doesn't have that red-white guns we were talking about, but apparently he didn't need it. He just needed the chakrams there to cut through everybody, and Vital's sitting in the middle of the enemy team. Hawks are also eating a bunch of poke from Paz, and when Paz goes mega, that actually buys all the space that Vital needs, and suddenly, hey guys, we can't reach the Aphelios who's killing all of us here. We took too much damage, and you can't even disengage.
Yeah, and then they even find themselves a kill. They're onto Dasher, beautifully done. At the very least, you could say that at least Sengaku doesn't get the Baron for themselves. So it goes into the hands of Hawks. I don't think no one has. Everyone dies, so no one even gets to use it. So it's really just for not really. No one gets to. No, if Sengaku doesn't get to have fun with the Baron, no one does. That's basically the moral of the story.
Fair enough, and you know what? Sengoku get to have fun with the Infernal Soul.
That's true. That's very true.
They did pick it up.
Indeed.
This is scary now, because now we said that the story had changed, right? It's about, can Sengoku survive the Hawks? They've survived the Hawks. They're the ones with Infernal Soul right now, and that makes up for any skilling difference that might have come through. And now we've seen Visel pop off here. For the Hawks, they need their own standout carry player. This was my problem with the Hawks, and the reason why I'm struggling a little bit with their identity. They don't have a superstar player on their team. They've got a really good team that works together here. But against Sengoku, somebody needs to stand out. Kanatsu has had a ball of a game, 6-1-4. Amazing scoreline. But is it enough right now when you're getting caught out like this? Probably not.
With the dash to just barely get past the Weaver's wall. That could have spelled the absolute end for him, but he's going to stay alive just a little bit longer. That's going to be a major cooldown out for the count now. But now, Sengaku are the ones that are looking to push the offensive. You're looking to siege down this bot tier 2 here. The TP coming out as well. Kanatsu, they're going to look to find it here. A lot of damage coming out. That is going to be the GA pop. Down goes once as well. And oh my God, Sengaku, you had your chance. And it's over. Never mind, Marble is here to finish things off. Jet, last man standing, running for his life, trying to deal some damage here at the Dasher. Can't quite find it. At the very least, looking like Jet will be able to escape. Needs to definitely be careful here. They're really just locking him down. There's nowhere Jet can go. Kanatsu coming over from the back line, looking to cut him off. Jet, run, boy, run! Flash over the wall.
Shot!
Oh my God, they still want him so badly. The cease and desist isn't available. The Vault Breaker is, but won't have the range for it. They're running Jet into his own base right now while Marble just keeps pushing. The TP comes through, and the Hawks are looking to close. The cease and desist is there. The CC chain gonna go gold, but they're waiting for you when you're done. Won't quite get the kill though. Are gonna back off. Jet buying his team the time to respawn, and with once back, Jet, I salute you. You're a hero. This guy's a track star right here. He was a runner in another life.
Jet heard us praising Vital and was like, hold my drink. I got it. I mean, that was an amazing series of plays. But just as we were saying, the Hawks need a standout player here. Well, they have a world champion, and Blank's the one who makes it happen. They group up, they get ready. And the thing with Vi is it's a point-and-click ultimate. There's no way to protect the target they're going for. And Blank just says, okay, we lost last time to Vital, no problem. We go for Vital, just point and click. We go in on this. And poor Vital, the moment the cease and desist lands,
it's over. It's over.
Pretty much. By the time he lands, he was dead. It was GA to pop him off there. And great. Without him there, Jet's doing the best he can, but Jet can't win the fight the same way. and Aphelios can. And Jet did successfully buy enough time that they only lost an inhibitor. So Sengoku will still have another go around.
I mean, once again, we just saw it was Marble, right? Marble just chilling in the backline, throwing out just the boomerang. It did not care. It did so much damage because he doesn't have to be worried. He has the front line that is Kinatsu, Blank, Rhina, Dasher that are going to make sure that no one can get on top of Marble. He can just chill his life, throw the auto attacks out, and deal so much damage. I mean, look at his items. He's hitting like a truck, and we're seeing it happen over and over and over again. And with Baron up in 30 seconds, if we can find a pick here, that could be absolutely huge.
And even in that last fight where Vital, popped off, they got the ace. Marble was the second last person to die. So until you destroy the entire front line, Marble's not at risk of dying. And that makes a difference in itemization. Vital has to build GA. Marble doesn't. So Marble will out-damage Vital in a lot of these fights front to back. Sengoku doesn't have a true tank either. I mean, you've got NT, and NT's getting gold, but NT's still not tanky enough. So there's really no front line to survive the Sivir.
Yeah, no, it's not looking too good for him. And oh my god, that Baron is just getting shredded. At this, once can't even get close at this point. It's like, it's slowly but surely, it's like the Baron is dying quicker and quicker. For first time around, once gets in, right, it's still at like 3k health. Last time, once gets in, it's at 1k health. This time, once can't even make it to the pit itself before the Baron dies, and it's going to go into the hands of the Hawks. And now, Elder is up in 38 seconds, RMC, and I think that might spell the end of this game for whatever team grabs it.
Pretty much. I mean, once couldn't get in there in time for Baron, he has to be in time for Elder here, and that's why you're seeing Sengoku set up. But keep in mind, Baron buff is up. Kinatsu's TP is up as well. Hawks could just look to push into the base instead, maybe try and end that. And something I think a lot of people forget is Baron buff gives you additional AD and AP as well. So they do have an edge in this fight.
Oh, Charm does land. A lot of damage coming up. Has barely escaping that one alive by the hair of his teeth. And also, you see, once goes gold, he's done for. He's in the thick of things. The flash don't coming out. And he goes down. So much damage coming through. Down they go. One by one by one by one. And Sengoku is taken out with the ace. Marble getting that final kill. So much damage coming through. They don't even need the Elder RMC. I was wrong. I've been lied to. They just need the kills. They shut Sengoku down. And they're saying, sit down at second place. We're coming for the second place next.
They needed the Elder to force a fight, Echo. So you called it right. They just didn't need the buff. And with this, they extend the timer. Sengoku is not safe in the Juggernaut just yet. And the Hawks prove that this is not a two-team league. The Hawks are taking off, and DFM had better be watching out, because if they can take Sengoku, there's a chance they can take DFM.
Yeah, I mean, not just, they didn't just take Sengoku. That was a dominating game there too. Like, it's not like it was just like, oh, like just barely. Like, that was a good showing.
Yeah.
It was an absurdly good showing from the Hawks. I'm in shell shock. It was a 40-minute frag fest from minute one. SoftBank Hawks dominating Sengoku, although Sengoku made it close. I mean, this was our payoff, guys. We had 3 quick stomp games today, but man, oh man, did the last game of the day deliver, and there's so much to cover in breaking down the story of this game here. But critically, as you already touched on, RMC, as we do give another look at the draft here, this has huge standing implications. We got back to the old draft again.
I didn't see that.
We keep revisiting the old favorites.
Echo's wiped that from his memory. He doesn't want to remember that one.
Don't matter. But if we do take a look at the standings here, I mean, things are getting down to the wire, and SoftBank Hawks making their case that they belong in this top 3, that they're not just feeding off bottom teams. I mean, that was the dream scenario here as we get our updated, fully up-to-date standings here, guys. Sengoku solidly in second.
Not so solidly anymore, Infinite Dodge, because if you look at this here, Hawks are only 2 wins away, and we're finishing our second round robin. There's one more go around. Think of the fact that Sengoku lost to DFM and Hawks. If Hawks can beat DFM next round, there's a chance they could catch up, and they would win the head-to-head against Sengoku if they can actually catch up. So suddenly, Sengoku ain't sitting so pretty at second no more.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so absolutely insane, and we can sort of start to deal with the ramifications of this. I'm sure Rascal Jester were feeling good after picking up a W today, thought they were coming for that third place spot. that had been reserved from them for summer playoffs, but it's not that easy anymore as we now do have the correct draft here. And what I want to talk about from this draft, guys, is that Ari Vi combination. That's what
God.
every team wants when they draft this combo. They executed it perfectly.
That's
Time and time
that's
again.
one of those, dude. That's one of those combos where it's like once you're dead, you look at the CC timer and it's as long as the fight went, because it's like you did not get to do anything. I mean, RMC and I, we counted the amount of CC that could come out just from this team. It was like 6 or 7. Like, that is absolutely insane.
And
Yeah,
the base
it's
damages
wild.
from Vi as well is just so disgusting. We've seen support Vi show up in North America precisely because you can one-shot the AD carries. And towards those end fights, we saw that for Vital as well. It wasn't Blank and Dasher anymore. It was just Blank. Dasher was busy handling the rest of the front line, peeling for, Sivir and whatnot. Blank just went in for Vital alone, and there was no peel for Vital. You can't peel for Vital against a Vi.
No, and in the early game, it was definitely Jet feeling the brunt of this mid-jungle lockup duo. I do believe we have the little clip here to showcase
Another lead here.
what
Echo.
exactly
And
went
how did they do
wrong
this?
time and time again, as we see it the first time in the mid lane. Blank coming in the lockdown into the Everfrost. I mean, what do you do there? It's disgusting. And it happens again down this bot lane. I mean... This is like
montage.
yeah, just well, I did a little editing. I had time during the game while Hawks was just crushing it, and I had time to go ahead and throw that in there. But yeah, this gives teams like, in the old cartoons when the eyes pop out of the head and they're like, ooh, every team now has to look at Vi and Ari combination and have that reaction because they played it so well, did the Hawks here, and it really drove the early game for them.
Very much so. And the scariest part is it's not just the Ari. The critical component of this sort of duo is the Vi. There are other mid laners that can do similar things to that Ari. You could run it with the LeBlanc. They're similar to the old LeBlanc Lee Sin combo, heavier on the CC, a little bit lighter on the damage here. So yeah, I think the LJL, we're going to start seeing a lot more Vi bans or Vi just going up in priority here, because there's just so many things you can do with it. And that's not even touching the other lanes as well. We were so focused on Ari Vi, but I mean, Vi with some of these top laners as well, like Gnar, for example, could be very, very critical. Bot side, heavy CC. We didn't see it this game, but Nautilus Vi is a deadly combo when you've got damage coming up from your AD carry as well.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, everybody on SoftBank Hawks played so well. As we do get a look here, Echo, at just a beautifully played Baron turn from them.
Yeah, no, I see it once getting over that wall, and then they're like, okay, that's fine. Doesn't even matter. We go for it. It's the amount of CC that comes through, and they just start cutting them down one by one. Kinatsu especially popping off in that fight, and there was just nothing that Sengoku can do, right? It's like, you're the team that's known for being these heavy hitters in the early game. What did they do when they squander the early game?
Yeah, I mean, it was just so well done. And I thought, RMC, that Sengoku, you had said would be our more active team in the early game. They sort of were. They bought themselves a cushion with some early Drakes. They got way more plate gold. They got first turret, but that didn't wind up being enough once all these picks came through.
No, and I like that Echo used the word squander there, because it really felt like that was exactly what they did. You had windows of opportunity. We harp so much on that term because they were there, and Sengoku just never played around those here. We were talking about Once and Jet being a strong combo, didn't matter, and it just felt like, yeah, sure. Again, we get to see a replay of their reactivity, which is fine, but that's not what you're known for. You're Sengoku. You're the team that just takes over games in the early and don't give other teams any chance to respond, and then instead you decide to play Hawks game, which is the slow, patient game. I mean, this game ran 41 minutes, and I feel like the only team that's going to match Hawks at 41 minutes is Roscoe Jesters.
Yeah, it was, a nice effort from Sengoku here with this play under the tier 2. It started to kickstart a bit of a mini comeback for them, right? Off the back of this, that gets Soul Point, and then Vital critically steps up after that second Baron take coming through from Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks Gaming, but it wasn't enough in the end. They got the Soul Point, they got Soul, but once they were right back in the game, they went and threw it away again, and as we do get a look at that Baron fight here, the team fights just never went their way after this, despite how well Vital and Paz do play it out.
Yeah, and we touched on the fact that a lot of this just comes down to the fact that Vital survives, that Vital isn't punished. Blank, we've already said, can pretty much single-handedly force Vital out of fight. Blank didn't go for Vital, so Sengoku win that. And Hawks, you can't say they don't learn, because after this fight, every single fight after this, Vital is enemy priority number 1. And Blank always uses the cease and desist after Vital. Vital just never gets a chance to pop off and carry these fights again. And this is one of those games where, as an AD carry, especially in such a region where AD carries are so big for their teams, you're kind of like, team, guys, like, I literally can't do anything. Like, I need somebody to help me here. Oh, Dodge got cease and desisted.
Oh, damn. Yeah. He got CC chain. Rest in peace, my man. All right. Well, in that case, yeah, I mean, we lost our boy Infinite Dodge. Rest in peace. He's going down with the ship that is Sengoku Gaming. Obviously, they're still in second place. You know, they still got a little bit of cushioning, but RMC, it's like we talked about. This is a dangerous showing, and if I was DFM right now, I'd be getting a little like I'm getting the heebie-jeebies right now, man.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, you know, coming up as well, they're facing CGA on Sunday here. And while CGA can't guarantee anything a lot for the split, they are also the coin flippiest team in the entire league here. My question is, does Sengoku's mental recover? Because they lose to DFM day 11, and then now they're not looking too hot in the way they play here on day 13. Can they bounce back? Oh, pardon me. They're actually not playing CGA Sunday. They're playing them Wednesday. They're playing Axis first. Okay, never mind. But Axis is playing really well. So hope for Axis. If they play the way they did today against an ailing Sengoku, maybe Axis could actually punch above their weight again.
True. Okay. But we do have shout out to J-Rim, my boy.
Yep.
We got Messer and Press going down. RMC. I gotta ask you, man. We'll go with Mess first. Who was your mess for today?
Oh, my mess for today. I think it's at this point, it's hardly a surprise. But it's got to be V3. V3 are looking steadily worse and worse. This was supposed to be their make or break game, and they almost beat CGA the first time around on day 3. If they had played well, even if they had lost, it'd be fine. But today they did not play together whatsoever. It was an absolute nightmare. If V3 plays like this, they are gonna close the entire year out without a single win.
That would be quite unfortunate. For me, I'm going to go with a different team. I'm going to go with Burning Core because I always do that whenever they lose. Whenever they lose, I got to, like, come on, man. What y'all doing? Like, they were looking. Listen, man, I wake up, right? I'm like, oh, I get to wake up. Hopefully Burning Core's winning. And I'm like, oh, it's like 3-2. You know, things are still looking good. I leave. I make some breakfast. I come back, and Burning Core is just getting stomped. I'm like, what happened? I was gone for like 15 minutes. What's going on here, man? It's like, it hurt a little bit. One tear was shed. One tear was definitely shed. But at the very least, we can close out on a good note. Who was your impressed for today?
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm biased. I'm going to go with Hawks at the end of the day because them winning over Sengoku is absolutely massive, and the way they did it was great. Big. But shout out to Axis, man. Axis, they impressed me. They lost to TFM, but they impressed me. And I maintain any other team, hey, maybe even Sengoku on Sunday, they played that way. They pull out wins.
That's fair. I'm thinking if I want to maybe give it to Marble, just because I feel like at the start of this game we were talking about how, you know, you also mentioned that Marble was someone that we weren't really we weren't expecting too much to come out of them necessarily. You know, they haven't been the very kind of flashy ADC that really does too much. But this time around on this new Sivir, he was looking pretty damn good. Like, my man understood the assignment and he did it well.
Yeah.
So I might have to give it to him.
Fair enough. Yeah, he wasn't flashy, but 11-1-10 tells a story of its own, man. And one thing I do want to point out about Marble specifically was that there was that fight where everybody was chasing Jet into the base. Marble was the only one who did it. Marble actually went and took the inhibitor.
Respect. He's like, guys, we need to end. We need to go home. We're doing good. Let's get out.
The assignment is kill the Nexus, not kill Jet, guys. Take the stupid inhibitor.
Exactly. And with that, though, we're gonna. I was gonna say we're gonna take a break, but it's more like we're kind of ending things here. We're taking a prolonged break so we can rest and recuperate, and we'll be back on. I believe it's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday with day 14. That's all the games for today, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rest in peace, Infinite Dodge. Our boy will be missed. He's probably given a angry pep talk to Sengaku right now. Never disappoint me on stream like that again. But we'll get back with more info once we have it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time around. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.